call me or whatever, and you had some words to say. How often does that happen? And do you like that kind of interaction, or what's your take on when players are talking to your bench?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just part of the game. I think it happens more than. It's not the first time that I've done that. It's not the first time that a coach has done that. The players do it. I think it's good for the game. I think it's part of it, as long as it's not, anything that's like disrespectful or personal. I think that's a natural competitive flow of the game. So. It's just one of those things that obviously you want to make sure you're at least not doing that. But it's important to stand up for your guys and kind of set the tone around the area, of your bench. So,
Hayden said it. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Gary.
Are you good with your guys chirping at guys taking threes in front of your bench?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I said, as long as it doesn't take away from us being able to execute tactically. And, I think you have to have a level of respect for everybody when you're out there in a competitive world. But other than that, yeah, absolutely.
Payton said at Media Day that he wants to make more of an impact as a screener, especially now with some of the best possessions coming from having multiple inverted actions. How valuable is his impact as a screener to this offense this year?
Yeah, it's another layer for him to be able to impact the game. It's just, not only on-ball screening but off-ball screening, and getting to understand when I'm off the ball, how can I still be effective? How am I being guarded? What type of screen should I be setting? He takes a lot of pride in working on that. And, he's definitely gotten better at that. But like you said, it's an integral piece to what we're doing. So he just got to continue to work on it.
What sort of practice is Jaylen able to go through today?
He was able to do everything but the live stuff.
Do you expect him to be ready to go Wednesday?
I haven't caught up with him yet. I mean, I expect him to, just be at his best every single day, and then we'll kind of take it from there. But just one day at a time.
What was the feedback you got on the injury? How serious is it?
I think it was a day-to-day thing, just kind of understanding where he day-to-day.
Joe, Ron got his contract converted to a two-way. Just what do you see out of him in camp, and how happy are you for him to get this opportunity?
Yeah, I think it was more than just what he did during his training camp. I think having him last year, coming off of an injury, and what he was able to do from last year to now, how much better he's gotten, and then just the work that he put in. His ability to be a two-way player. His shooting has gotten better, can think the game, and then he competed at a high level. So. We're glad to have him, and he's got just as much of an opportunity to play as anyone else. He's got to continue to get better.
Joe, after the Raptors game, you talked about how much you love coaching Nimi and you coach him hard. Have you seen his way of taking that in and processing and improving, get better since, how have you seen that change since when he got here to now?
I don't know that it changed. I just think he has an understanding of the why. At the end of the day, we all believe in the player, who he is, but also in the player that we think he can become. And so those two things are just as important. And he does a great job maintaining the same level of body language and the idea of I have to get better. And I think that's underestimated because he's such a quiet guy. But he really does value hard work and getting better. And it's one of the things I like about him.
Along those same lines, Joe, player development, always important, but it seems to be at a premium now with the salary cap and all that. What's the process here? Has anything grown over the years here in terms of player development?
I think it's a natural curve. I think, when I was here and Scott Morrison was the, offensive coach, he kind of got us off to the races as far as what player development and having a true program in that. And then we've kind of taken that and gone. And now we have Craig, who, he's the head of player development, and he takes a lot of pride. And, I think his ability to come in every day and look at the players from a different perspective than what the coaches look at them. So his leadership, and then our player development team, which is, a group of the younger assistants that take pride in taking in that with Craig and working towards that. I think so having a whole department and alignment as to, there's a coaching aspect, but there's also a development aspect, and how do we kind of work at that together.
And we see player development in terms of guys like Nimi, right? Guys, younger guys, but how does that apply to some of the other guys, more veteran guys that are here?
Yeah, just their ability to take information from a film session, apply it to a game, the ability to recognize in a game and apply it right away. And so I think it's developing new things, but it's really the awareness. Part of it for those older players is the awareness to have an understanding of what's going on in the game and how quickly can I make the right read versus that, whether it's on offense or defense.
Obviously, one of the phases of camp this year. How do you feel like the development of their chemistry and all that went throughout the training camp?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think that the thing about training camp is there's no stress, there's no duress. The games aren't on TV, there's no stats, there's none of that stuff. And so there's nothing of the outside forces testing all those little things that test your human nature, that test your togetherness. So there's no losing streaks, none of that stuff matters. And I imagine we go through a bunch of that stuff throughout the year. And so we just have to fight to maintain the level at which we have now when all the outside forces, adhere themselves to you.
of the things that you've been stressing since the beginning of training camp, are there certain concepts that you think you guys have grasped better than others? Like from the 4 preseason games, what would be your high-level takeaway as far as like this is
Yeah, I think it's our defensive identity, I think, is the number one thing of like, this is who we have to be effective. And so I'd say our defensive identity, kind of revamping that, it's a lot different than what we've done here in the past over the last 3 years. I say that's the thing that we've translated the most, and then we just have to continue with a bunch of new players. I think defense is more effort and mindset. That's easier to catch up on, where offense, because of the changing of coverages and personnel and all that stuff, that just takes a little bit longer to be able to develop. And so I like where we're at, but we obviously want to speed that up and get to a better level faster.
I feel you guys are ahead defensively than where you are offensively right now?
Yeah. Not that I think we're behind, but I just think we've picked up the things quicker. Today was a good day offensively, picking up the concepts that we want to get better. And I think offense is more of an always evolving thing. I think both are. But, so I like where we're at on both ends.
Do you feel like you guys responded once Jaylen did go out in that game on Wednesday? Just other guys stepping in the big role.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to lose, Jaylen. But at the end of the day, there was no looking over your shoulder. It was just like, here, this is what we have now. This is how we have to win. And so we just have to maintain that self-awareness of like, this is where we are. This is what we have. This is what's going on in the environment. How do we, adapt to that? And then we just got to go. So I thought we did that pretty well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks.